Today, the current event we are discussing is the recent parliamentary legislation to change the name of southern state Kerala to Keralam so that it aligns with their culture and the language of Malayalam. Now, let's get the basics about the constitutional process. Article 3 has all the details about how to change the name of a state, how to change the area of the state, how to create a new state, how to create a state out of a union territory, and similar phenomena. Now, what happened in the case of Kerala was, Kerala Legislative Assembly passed a resolution saying change the name of Kerala to Keralam and also gave reasons for it. Then the resolution which wanted a change in the constitution was sent to the union government. Union government told them, you don't change the constitution. You have an ordinary parliamentary process like you make a simple law. What did Kerala resolution say? It said, change the 8th schedule which contains 22 languages so that each of these languages will say Keralam when they speak of Kerala. Union government told Kerala state, sir, you don't do that with the 8th schedule. That is done by an order of the union government to all the states. 8th schedule is about inserting a language or changing the spelling of a language. Recall 2011 when the spelling of Oriya was changed to Odia by amending the constitution. And go back even earlier to 2002 when 4 new languages were added and the number of official languages in the 8th schedule became 22. So forget the 8th schedule part. Let's get the basics about how to change the name of a state. Article 3 is very clear. A bill is made by the union government, sent it to the president, and the president scans it, and the president will send it to the state legislature concerned for their opinion. The State Legislative Assembly passes a resolution saying what it wants to say, yes or no or conditional yes, and then it goes to the union government, and if the union government is satisfied that the State Assembly has made certain modifications and these modifications have to be taken on board, then okay. Otherwise, whatever the Assembly says is non-binding. In fact, if the Assembly delays, the Honorable President of India can even lay a timeline within which the Assembly has to express its opinion, or otherwise the resolution is said to have been made. That is, the state is assumed to have spoken in favor. So the State Legislative Assembly has spoken, it goes to the Government of India, and it is non-binding, it is only an opinion, an advice, and after it is considered by the Union Government, the bill is finalized and the bill is introduced on the recommendation of the President in either house of the Parliament. And for rest of the procedure, it is the same as an ordinary bill. Introduction, consideration, voting in both the houses. In case of a deadlock, there is a joint session, etc. So that is how the bill seeking to change the name of a state is passed. So what happened in the case of Kerala was that it aligns with our culture if you change the name, and therefore we are passing a resolution. But then the question in your preliminary is that, a lot of people take it as a part of the constitution that the initiative to change the name of the state is taken by the assembly of the state. No. That has become of late a convention. There is nowhere mentioned in Article 3 that the State Legislative Assembly has to initiate the process. The process may be initiated by the State Assembly, but that has a non-binding value. I'll give you the example of Bangla. West Bengal wanted to change its name to Bangla because 1947 partition, East Bengal, West Bengal, East has become Bangladesh. Now why not West Bengal become Bangla? Then the resolution was passed by the State Legislative Assembly, sent to the Union government. Union government thought it conflicts with our neighboring state and therefore the name Bangla may not be permitted. So Union government vetoed it. Therefore, the point I am trying to make here is that if the State Legislative Assembly passes a resolution urging the Union government to change the name, that resolution is only expression of an opinion. There is no binding value to it. Kerala did it. Union government accepted it. Odisha Assembly, originally it was Orissa. Orissa Assembly passed a resolution urging the Union government to make a change from Orissa to Odisha and also change the spelling of the language from Oriya to Odia. The spelling, as I told you at the outset, requires a Constitution Amendment Act because it deals with a change in the 8th schedule. But changing the name will make changes in the first schedule where all the states are shown, their geography is shown, their names are also spelt out. There you change the first schedule. 4th schedule has all the states and the representation of the states in the Rajya Sabha. There also the name of state is involved. But Article 4 clearly says that the changes which are the outcome of changing the name under Article 3, those changes in the first schedule and the 4th schedule are consequential, they are not independent. You made a law under 3, Article 3, and therefore first schedule and the 4th schedule, the name of the state has to be respelled, and so since it is consequential, it is not standalone, it cannot be treated as an amendment in the sense that Article 3, 6, 8 need not be invoked. The path laid out in Article 368, the special procedure for amending the Constitution need not be followed. It is a simple law with the difference that the President asks the state for its opinion and the President recommends the introduction of the bill in the Parliament. This is the only difference. Otherwise, the substantive process of passage of the bill is the same as any ordinary bill. For example, the governance of Indian Statistical Institute, the bill that was passed in the monsoon session that has just now ended. Same thing. So, there is nothing special about it except the two symbolic parts I have told you. So, this is how the name of a state changes. Identical procedure is followed for changing the boundaries, changing the area, creation of a state, abolition of a state, merging 2 or more states together, breaking up of a state into 2 or more. All these are identically proceeded with under Article 3 and the power of the Parliament is unconditional. Except that basic structure and so on have to be followed. This is the Constitution about the name change of a state. Now let's go into each infographic here and I will tell you the procedure further. So this is what's been done. And why has it been done? Cultural identity, linguistic, authenticity, we talked about it. Parliament, the procedure of the Parliament, President refers the bill, President's recommendation, the bill is introduced, passed by simple majority, told you. And then once the passage by the Parliament is through, it goes to the President of India and the President does what he does, which is almost as a norm, put his signature there. After all, he recommended it. Why won't he sign on it? Irrespective of that, the presidential choices are say no, say yes, send it back, all that. And pocket veto, say nothing, all that. But that goes without saying, nothing special about Article 3 there. It's an ordinary bill. And when was this done before? Madras became Tamil Nadu 1968. Mysore became Karnataka 1973. Uttaranchal became Uttarakhand. Remember in 2000 AD, 26 years back, when you created Uttaranchal, when you created Jharkhand, and when you also have created another state, Chhattisgarh, in all these three, at that point, Uttarakhand was called Uttaranchal. But 6 years later, the name was changed to Uttarakhand. And the same Article 3 procedure was followed. I told you 11, Orissa, Odisha. 26, Kerala, Keralam. Now it's kicked into action also. Is Article 368 required? Not at all. Under Article 4, it has been clearly said that what you have done, changes in the first and the fourth schedules, I told you what these schedules are about, are only a result of what you have done under Article 3. So they are not deemed amendments, and therefore 368 doesn't come into the picture at all. That's been clearly stated in Article 3, in Article 4 about Article 368. That's the answer. State Assembly view binding? Not at all. It is only advisory in nature. Referring the bill, Supreme, it is only advisory in nature. Name change, why did they request? Cultural reasons. So here you have the entire procedure. And if you see, there is an element of cooperative federalism here. The president asks the state and then goes ahead and does what he does. He asks the state, consults the state, state legislature is involved. So next step could be, you want to federalize it even further, because we have come a long way after the independence and after 1950 when the constitution came into effect. You can say that the state's opinion should be given a little more substantive value and so on and so forth. But as of now, it is cooperative. There is union government, there is state government, there is consultation, there is working together. That's what federalism is about. The rights of union, rights of the states. Here the cultural rights of the states are fully recognized. You made the assembly resolution and the government of India responded fully in a friendly manner. So that is how cooperative federalism works. Now let's see the graphics further. So this is Article 3 verbatim. What do you have to do? New state. Form a new state. Combine two or more. Increase the area, diminish the area, alter the boundaries, and then highlighted, name of the state you change, name of the state. So, next. And then Article 3, the renaming of Kerala as Keralam. Everything here I have told you, non-binding I have told you, presidential reference. Presidential reference means what? President refers it to the state. The assembly takes it from there and says what it says. Whatever it says, yes or no or otherwise, is non-binding. It is only expression of an opinion. The union government will accept it if it is in line with the constitutional values. Otherwise, it does not accept. So yes, that is the reference. Parliamentary passage. State resolution is not, Kerala passed the resolution, Odisha passed, Bengal passed. But in Bengal case, it wasn't accepted. So state legislative resolution is not the way it begins. That's become the convention. And that convention is not binding either. It is the initiative of the union government as far as the law is concerned. State legislative assembly resolution, pass it if you like, don't pass it if you like, but you must pass it after the presidential reference. Before that, to nudge the government of India to act, you may pass the resolution, you may not. That's up to you, but that's outside the constitution. The initiative legally, constitutionally, according to Article 3, is that of the union government. So basics of the renaming proposal. Next. Kerala Alteration of Name Bill. This is the title of the bill. The entire constitutional context we have seen. Take a few seconds to see what's there. Article 4, I have told you, it is not deemed an amendment, and therefore Article 368 does not come into the picture at all. You change first schedule and the fourth schedule, where the names of the states appear without amending the constitution through a ordinary constitutional legislative process. That is what Article 4 clearly says. They are all classical preliminary questions. They came many times before. They'll keep coming again and again because these details cannot be gleaned from newspaper. You have to read the constitution, you have to follow how it works, and you have to read the commentaries written by the people who drafted these laws, Secretary General of Lok Sabha, and so on and so forth. And so, I'm emphasizing the details. Next. This is the first schedule. What do you have here? Andhra, Assam, Bihar, Gujarat, and then 5 is Kerala, alphabetically, Kerala. So that is the first schedule where the names and the territorial limits of the states are spelled out. Next, the fourth schedule. Here you have, this we have already seen. We have already seen this. Let's get the graphic from Orissa and Oriya to Odisha and Odia. I've already told you, this requires 368. Anything to do with 8th schedule requires 368. 1 and 4 schedules, as a result of action on the basis of Article 3, they don't require. Independently, if you want to act, for example, you want to change the number of seats of a state in Rajya Sabha from X to Y, then it's an independent action. That requires amendment to the constitution. But if you want to change the name of Kerala to Keralam in 4th schedule and 1st schedule, that is a result of Article 3, and so it is not standalone, it's not independent, it is consequential, and so it does not require invocation and following of Article 368. That's very, very clear. Examiner will trick you. So renaming Article 3. Renaming the language from Oriya to Odia, Article 368. Very, very important. Bangla, I told you, Legislative Assembly of West Bengal passed a resolution. Union government shot it down because there is this Bangladesh issue, that is Bangladesh and this is Bangla, and so there will be confusion, there will be objections, there will be diplomatic, sort of tension, and therefore the Union government shot it down. That is the official reason given. Eighth schedule, I already told you, 8th schedule. Originally, when the constitution came into effect, you did not have 22 languages. You had far less, and then you kept on adding languages. You will see it in the upcoming graphic there. See, 14 languages to 22 today. Along the line, you had many languages brought in. Sindhi got brought in. Konkani, Manipuri, Nepali. After that, the NDA government, 92nd, 2003, Bodo, Dogri, Maithili, Santali, all these 4 got added, and today, Odia spelling was changed. That's another thing. Today you got 22 languages. From 14 to 22, all of them involved making changes in the constitution. All of them involved action on the strength of Article 368. Then that's it. That is Kerala becoming Keralam. You have seen A to Z of the entire thing. The culture, the linguistic side, constitution, the parliamentary procedure, the federal dimension, everything you have seen. So I wish you all the best to learn well.